Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. In the vast, cold darkness between the orbits of Saturn and Uranus, a strange object named 2060 Chiron is on a lonely 50-year journey around our Sun. For decades, we thought it was just a curious hybrid of an asteroid and a comet. But recently, Chiron has revealed a secret that has stunned astronomers. It has rings. Not just simple, static rings like Saturn's, but a complex, messy system of dust and ice that is actively changing and evolving right before our eyes. We are witnessing the birth and transformation of a miniature planetary system in real time, and it's rewriting everything we thought we knew about where rings can exist and how they are formed. Today, we're unpacking the incredible story of Chiron, a cosmic detective tale that uses shadowy tricks of light to reveal a dynamic, evolving masterpiece in the outer solar system. It's a story that starts with a mythological hybrid and ends at the cutting edge of planetary science. In 1977, astronomer Charles Kowal was studying photographic plates from the Palomar Observatory when he spotted something new. It was an object on a bizarre path, a highly eccentric orbit that swung it from just inside Saturn's domain all the way out to near Uranus. This was no ordinary asteroid. Its orbit was so unusual, so empty of other known objects, that for a while, people wondered if it could be a long-lost 10th planet. But as astronomers kept their telescopes trained on this traveler, it's true, and far more complex. Nature began to emerge. In 1988, as Chiron made its closest approach to the Sun, it did something asteroids don't do. It brightened by a whopping 75%. This wasn't reflected light. This was activity. It was behaving like a comet, an icy body heating up and releasing a cloud of gas and dust. By 1989, observations confirmed a fuzzy cloud or coma around it. And by 1993, even a faint tail was detected. So what was it? An asteroid or a comet? The answer was both. This discovery led scientists to create a whole new category of celestial objects, the Centaurs. Named after the mythical Greek creatures that were half human and half horse, centaurs are small bodies that orbit among the giant planets. We now believe they are escapees from the Kuiper Belt, that vast reservoir of icy objects beyond Neptune. Their orbits are chaotic and unstable, constantly tugged by the immense gravity of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Over millions of years, a centaur is destined for one of three fates: being flung out of the solar system entirely, crashing into a planet, or being pulled into the inner solar system to become a short-period comet. Chiron, as the first of its kind, became the prototype for these fascinating transitional objects. It even has two official names to reflect its dual identity: Minor Planet 2060 Chiron and Comet 95P Chiron, and its own name proved to be incredibly fitting. In Greek mythology, Chiron was a wise and gentle centaur, a teacher to heroes like Achilles. And this celestial Chiron would go on to teach astronomers some incredible lessons. For years, Chiron's main claim to fame was its cometary activity so far from the Sun, but its biggest secret was yet to be revealed. And the key to unlocking it was an elegant and powerful technique called stellar occultation. Imagine you're watching a distant streetlight, and a tiny moth flies in front of it. For a split second, the light will dim. A stellar occultation is the cosmic version of that. An object like Chiron passes in front of a distant star, and for a moment, it blocks its light. By measuring this dip in starlight from multiple telescopes across Earth, astronomers can map the object's size and shape with incredible precision. More importantly, any material around the object, like an atmosphere or rings, will also cause the starlight to dim before and after the main event, betraying its presence. As early as 1993, Astronomers saw hints of material around Chiron during these occultations. But at the time, everyone assumed they were just seeing jets of gas and dust shooting off its active surface, consistent with its cometary nature. The idea of a tiny, 218-kilometer-wide body having a stable ring system just wasn't on the table. The paradigm shifted completely in 2013. Using this same occultation technique, astronomers discovered a stunning two-ring system around another Centaur named Chiron. Suddenly, rings weren't just for giant planets anymore. This groundbreaking discovery sent scientists scrambling back to their old data. Could those mysterious dips around Chiron from the 90s have been something more? A team led by J.L. Ortiz took a hard look at a crucial occultation from November 2011. They saw symmetrical, sharp dips in the starlight on both sides of Chiron, at a distance of about 300 kilometers from its center. Before Chiron, these would have been dismissed as jets. But now, inspired by the new discovery, the team proposed a radical new interpretation. Chiron had rings too. The data was consistent with a two-ring system, remarkably similar in scale to Chiron. Chiron had just become the second known minor planet in the solar system to host a ring system. But this was only the beginning of the story. Chiron wasn't just a static copy of Chiron, it was something far more strange and exciting. Subsequent occultations revealed that the material around Chiron was changing. An observation in 2018 showed that the overall amount of material seemed to have decreased since 2011, but there were tantalizing hints of a new, third ring beginning to form. Then came the big surprise. During an occultation on December 15, 2022, astronomers saw that the amount of ring material had actually increased again. And that partial third ring seen in 2018? It now appeared to be a complete, fully formed structure. This was shocking. Ring systems were thought to be ancient, stable structures that evolved over millions or billions of years. But here was a ring system, changing on a timescale of just a few years. It was like watching geology happen in fast forward. The most detailed picture yet came in September 2023. A massive, coordinated campaign of telescopes across South America tracked another occultation, capturing the event in unprecedented detail. The results were breathtaking. They confirmed a complex system of at least 3 distinct, dense rings, nested inside a broader, more diffuse disk of dust and ice. The current model paints this picture: 3 inner, narrow rings at radii of about 273, 325, and 438 kilometers from Chiron's center. These rings are embedded within a wider, tenuous disk of material that extends from about 200 to 800 kilometers out. There's even a hint of a fourth, much fainter outer ring over 1,000 kilometers away. This discovery is truly remarkable. We have a natural laboratory to study how rings are born and evolve, not through computer simulations, but by watching it happen. So what is this evolving cosmic necklace made of? The primary suspect is water ice, mixed with some rocky dust. Spectroscopic observations of Chiron have detected water ice, but intriguingly, the strength of this signal changes over time. It even disappeared completely in 2001. This strange behavior makes perfect sense if Chiron has icy rings. As Chiron and Earth orbit the Sun, our viewing angle of the rings changes. When we see them edge on, they contribute very little to the total light we receive from Chiron, and the water ice signature seems to vanish. When we see them more face on, the signature returns. The powerful James Webb Space Telescope has recently given us an even more detailed look. JWST detected not just water ice, but also frozen carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide on Chiron's surface. As these ices warm, they turn directly into gas, feeding a coma that contains carbon dioxide, methane, and even organic byproducts like acetylene and ethane. This directly links the composition of Chiron's surface to its cometary activity, providing a perfect source of raw material for building and replenishing its dynamic rings. This leads us to the biggest question of all. How did a small body like Chiron get such a complex and actively changing ring system in the first place? And how does it survive? Planetary rings are supposed to be short-lived, with particles either clumping together to form moons or dispersing into space. There are a few leading theories. One popular idea is a catastrophic event. Perhaps Chiron once had a small moon that was shattered in a collision with another object, or was torn apart by Chiron's own gravity. The resulting debris would have settled into an orbiting disk, which then organized into the rings we see today. The Centaur region is a cosmic demolition derby, so collisions are certainly plausible. Another, very compelling theory ties the rings directly to Chiron's cometary nature. As it heats up, Chiron doesn't just gently release gas. It can have violent outbursts, throwing huge amounts of ice and dust into orbit around itself. This ejected material could then settle into a disk and form rings. This theory beautifully explains the rings' rapid evolution. If Chiron is constantly adding new material to the system, it's no wonder the rings are changing. In fact, astronomers observed a major outburst from Chiron in 2021, and they believe this event may have directly contributed the material needed to form that third ring, which was confirmed in 2022. A third possibility involves a close flyby of a giant planet like Saturn. The immense tidal forces from such an encounter could have ripped material from Chiron's icy surface, creating a debris disk. But regardless of how the material got there, something must be holding it in place. A simple disk of particles would spread out and dissipate. This is where the idea of